There we go. You can see and hear me now, right? Oh my gosh. So this is the first time I'm using Streamyard. Can you guys hear me, I hope? It's the first time I'm using Streamyard. Hey, yes, I do want someone to come on. I want to test that. Rochi, I wrote you on how do I send a link? Who can teach me how to send a link? Yeah, come on. Hi. Hi. Like I'm going like this. Hi. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I figured out how to blur the background, which I kind of dig. So okay, invite. Got it. Rochi, where do I send it? Invite guest. This is, but I don't have Twitter on my thing. I can, oh, I know what I can do. I can copy and then I can email it to myself. And then we can go from there. Wait, what? What? Okay. To Ashley. What's my email again? Aleo Kini at gmail.com. Okay, so we have some topics of conversation. If you can actually, Rochi, can you do this? Can you send me your email? I'll figure it out. Hold on. Venice, bada bing, bada boom. But I want to try that out too, right? Right. I just don't, oh, sounds like it went. Okay. So copy, here, hold on. Copy. There we go. I know what you meant, Rochi. Watch this. Control. Wait, that was supposed to. Hold on a minute. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is just copy the link to the chat. And then I can choose, right, if they can come on or not. Correct? Correct. I think so. Control C, which is copy. Oh, you little piece of ass. Okay. And then Control V. It should paste. Hold on. File. Paste. I mean, what do you call it? Yeah, paste. There we go. Haha. Nailed it. Okay, so please do bear with me. Probably just go read a book or something if you're feeling frustrated or you want like a very clean situation, because this will be anything but. If it gets crazy, I have a book for us. Jack's Handy List of Words, 607 words that you can't or shouldn't live without. So I want to do like a little test with this. So I'll know if somebody pops on. If somebody wants to pop on, that's Citizen Okay, Citizen M, that is a false accusation. Yeah, I'm going to have you blocked if that's how you want to behave, because then next week you're going to apologize to me. We've been through this 6 cycle before. I told you the truth. I have nothing to hide. This thing is a little wobbly. And I don't appreciate you at all. So you can go and do something else. Yeah, Drunken Donuts, I agree. No, I don't, guys. I wouldn't even know how to. I literally wouldn't know how to. I reported if I was able to report like a couple Twitter posts, X posts, whatever. and I got emails back. These are none of them were Melton. None of them were anyone that anyone knows. They were just like really random people, and they were really, really weird things. And most of the reports came back in the email, and it said, we didn't find anything wrong with this post. That was like, I don't know, whatever. Talk about my horse, whatever. No, whatever the fuck it was. Somebody like talked about whatever. People say crazy stuff, but now that nothing ever happened with the Twitter things. Does that make sense? I don't know who this is though. Ashley Parker Angel. I have no idea who that is. I don't even know who you're talking about. What happened? Yo, Rochi. Oh, Rachel T. He. Can I do this from here? Well, let's see. Do you want to be like a nice person or a normal person? Oh, guys, look. That's so cool. I didn't know I could do that. Let's see. Oh, that's actually awesome. I'm learning as I go. If you guys are just getting here, welcome. Happy to see you. But I'm learning StreamYard in a way. Oh, so that's how they do it. I call bullshit on this. Yeah, remember when you did that before? We've been here before, haven't we, Citizen M? And you asked me why I wouldn't make you a mod. Maybe because you change your mind every other day. Every other day, every other day. Rachel T. He. No, we can squash this right now. I'm all about squashing shit. But yeah, you did. You kind of came at me and yelled at me. I think there's a video about it. I mean, I don't care if you're a good girl or a bad girl. Who's that? Oh, Rochi's here. Okay, cool. So cool. Let me figure out how to bring him on. Okay, so I'm trying to. I think I just click on you. I do understand that I had the propensity in the last few weeks to misunderstand people. So do please forgive me from that. How do I bring Rochi on? Legit. Edit name. I don't want to do that. I just want to add him. Hold on. Here, give me 1 second. Save. Okay. Okay, can someone tell me how to, the person's on the bottom. What do I do to add them? This is my first time doing this. Oh, I see. But Rochi's the second. Okay.
All right. So that's weird, Ashley. This like angle is strange, right? You know, you can mess around with different size boxes and whatnot.
Well, I just saw those right now. That's how I figured out how to bring you on. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So, what's the idea for this show? Or are you just testing out StreamYard?
I'm just testing out StreamYard. Thank you for being here. The idea for the show is if it gets uncomfortable, I have a dictionary that we can all peruse together because I do believe that learning new words and reading is very important for our mental health. Oh, and then I was thinking about yoga as well, but mostly I just wanted to figure out StreamYard. Sorry to interrupt you. What?
No, I think dictionaries really should be kept away from YouTube for the benefit of us all, if you know what I mean.
No, tell me what you mean.
Well, I think, with somebody with a voice like mine and the way I pronunciate my words, clearly a dictionary is the last thing I should be looking at.
I like the way that you pronounce your words.
Yeah, it's almost as if I haven't learned how to speak correctly, you know?
No, it's almost as if you were born in a place called England and you guys have different accents.
Yeah.
Which is quite
completely.
normal. Almost everywhere in the planet, they have different accents. Even happens within the continental United States, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, even within the UK, they have different accents. For example, my friend is from the north and she says pushing and she pronounces things very differently than you. I just went Russian for a second.
So, Ashley, see, it's a great idea, right? You've got a dictionary right there. Can you do me a favor? Could you go to the letter H and see what the first word is?
Well, this is not it's not like a Webster's dictionary. This is Jack's handy list of words by Jack Forbes. So it's but let's go to the first H letter. I mean the first H word. H-I. I was at the pool earlier. I like reading dictionaries. So the first word in this dictionary, which is only 607 words, it's just Jack, I want to say Jack Frost, Jack Forbes, is hapless, dim-witted, unfortunate, hopeless, unlucky, or defenseless. The hapless, the context, the hapless vagrant was picked up for simple littering. Hapless.
Interesting. Interesting.
Why
So,
did you pick the letter H? Oh.
oh, it was just the first letter that popped into my head. I must admit, I think I was probably reading the YouTube chat and saw somebody's username was H, I think. And that's where it come from.
How do you say hapless?
Hapless.
Yeah, we say it the same. Were you looking for a word that we would say differently, or were you looking for...
No, it was just like I said, I just saw a random YouTube name, and for whatever reason in my mind, the letter H come to
Oh my
mind.
gosh, do you want to just jump into our fashion show idea?
Well,
Your
looking
fashion
like this, I
show.
don't think I can talk about fashion, can I? Come on.
I feel like, quite frankly, if nobody listened to you talking about fashion and this Chooks shirt, I'm pretty sure that they don't know what's happening in the world of fashion. Yeah, let that hair down.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm doing this actually because I'm getting paid right now. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, fashion again. I don't know nothing about fashion. However, I do find it funny that you're in agreement with me that people that are and do care about fashion seem to be in their intelligent level seems to be very low. And clearly, I can't talk about intelligence level. I can't even say the word correctly.
I think you said it perfectly. I thought more interesting and compelling was your insight in the like if you, I think you could probably make a Venn diagram when it comes to fashion and intelligence, the way that you explained it the other day. But then there is this very niche like fashion industry, but it's such a small part of the whole big fashion thing, if that makes sense. And I 100% agreed with your take on that. I don't know how long you've thought about it, but can you tell me the full show idea again? It was that we would
So
have...
basically, I was thinking in my head for you, if you're going to be a streamer, right, and you want to, like, for lack of a better term, dabble, if you will, in the Dabbleverse, wouldn't it be good to have a female voice to critique people's fashion sense? Prime example, I'm wearing a Tukey merchandise shirt, and as you
I
can
think
see
that's a
here,
great shirt.
this is Chad Zumuk, who wears sunglasses inside and a hat that says the Z-Man on it, right? And I think you could potentially point out a lot of people's fashion sense, the fact like whether certain people have put in a lot of thought and ideas and shit into things. Like, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Ashley, but I know you've got a blur background, like
Mhm.
obviously a filter thing, but with that, it's kind of giving you a gloss as if you've put like cream on your face.
Well, I did put a bunch of cream on my face. So I don't
Mm.
think it filters my face. I think it filters the background. But I think it might filter... No, it doesn't really filter there. Like you
Mm.
could see it in paint. One of my nails is chipping. So
Yeah.
it does... I don't think it's filtering my face.
Mhm.
See? It's just filtering the background.
Oh, okay.
But
So
I did put some stuff on my face because I was at the pool for a bit. But sorry, go ahead.
no, I was also thinking. Do you mind me asking? The thumbnail for this very stream, is that a picture of you?
That's correct.
And that's not been
So
doctored or anything like that.
no, it's not been doctored. This
Right,
is
okay.
so when I go on to... I've got to get sort myself out, but the images I have on my computer that are available for a thumbnail, my friend Danielle does most of my thumbnails.
Hmm.
They're just random pictures, like some from my phone or whatever. But that's been in a few articles. It's from circa, I don't know, 2016, 2015, something like this.
So 9 years ago, right?
About, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So anyway, with this fashion thing, I just thought it
Did
would
you have
be
a
a good idea.
comment to make about my outfit in that photo, Rochi, or
Well, no,
what?
no. Do you know what it was, Ashley? I was confused because one, I didn't know whether it was you, and second of all, I'm looking at on my phone on YouTube, going, "Oh, Ashley's going live later," and then you sent that to me on Twitter, thinking it was a Streamyard link, right? And I'm looking at it; it's very small, and I'm thinking, "Is that actually Ashley or not?" And I couldn't tell, and I didn't want to be rude and say, "Clearly, it looks like you've got a bigger chest there than you do now," but that's being rude, isn't it? See?
That is being a bit rude. I wanted to say it's actually, I don't know what happens with StreamYard, but it should
Hmm.
be the watermark on the bottom right of every one of my videos in the right bottom corner. Let's see. So I did just learn this. You can just show comments by clicking on them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know all this stuff?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, but you had an idea that, well, so first of all, a couple things. I don't think that, you tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think that too many people in the Dabbleverse care so much about their own fashion. Maybe they do. I think that's a great shirt.
Well,
But
with the fashion thing, I think honestly, as a male, clearly, looking like this, obviously, I don't care about fashion, but I do think if you're a female in this sphere or whatever, you might have like an audience there that would care about fashion. So therefore, you're bringing an audience from outside going, oh, here's fashion tips, and this is this little corner of the internet, and this is what they do with fashion. Like prime example, Karmic X, as somebody just mentioned in the chat, he has a strange fashion sense, right? Considering he's a male, but he's
well,
you
I
could
agree,
relate that to
strange,
something.
but it's a strong choice. I think sometimes with fashion, it's making a choice or not making a choice, right?
Hmm. Well, so and again, again, it's just a show idea. Again, this is like me thinking out loud. I agree with a lot of people. Maybe this is not a good show, but this is not a show, is it? Actually, this is us just testing out
This
Streamyard.
is just testing. Yeah,
Hmm.
no. Oh, you're saying the fashion show is not good or my show is not good?
No, no, I'm saying the fashion show idea probably like who knows whether it's a good idea or not. I don't. I generally don't know.
It's a
It's not good.
fantastic idea, but there are just a few problems. I am
Go on.
by no stretch of the imagination a fashion guru or anything like that. I think mostly what we talked about on that show was how you were talking about getting the same clothes and how that's a sign of intelligence. Like when people, and the other guy that was on that show, I forgot his name, New Jersey something.
Oh, NJ Ranger. Yeah.
Correct. Thank you. And he gets the same shirts and the same, like he said, there's a 5-pack and they have a couple different colors because he likes the way they feel and they work. And that
Hmm.
just takes, it's one less thing you have to think about. Another thing you can do is put your keys in the same place all the time, and your wallet and your phone, and then you don't lose your keys and your wallet. They're like really simple things that people that have been proven to have high intelligence do. And one of them is just like we were talking about the other day, Steve Jobs. Like I think he basically just wore black shirts and jeans. Very rarely did he deviate from that because that's what he was comfortable in. It was like his quote unquote uniform. Another example is she's a little on the psychotic side, the Theranos woman, but she was kind of trying to be Steve Jobs. Do you remember that? Elizabeth something that she created Theranos, which was a fake company, but got like
Oh yeah, didn't she scam people? Like, didn't she
yes, she
like
got like
sell like a cancer treatment or something, and it turned out
it
to be
was
false?
supposed to be a test that you could go and get your blood taken, just one drop of blood, and it would
Mhm.
supposedly scan it for like anything that you had or any updates in your.
Mm,
It was supposed to be this revolutionary blood testing.
mm,
Meanwhile, it was all bullshit. But she was kind of trying to emulate, in a way, Steve Jobs. She always wore the same black suit. She
yeah.
always like did like the same sort of talking points. Um, but
Well,
psychopathy is not far from like extremely high intelligence, is what I'm saying sometimes.
well. So with the Steve Jobs thing, I've got to be honest with you, Ashley. I'm not an Apple fan. Neither am I one to idolize certain people, especially like somebody that's just been put in a position and then like put up on a pedestal to be idolized, for example. But didn't Steve Jobs like die from something that could be preventable? But
So
he
I don't
refused
idolize
to get
either of the
treatment.
people that I just mentioned, but I would
Yeah, yeah.
say that I'd be willing to bet that on any intelligence test, they probably would fare pretty well. Um,
Hmm.
yes. Well, here's what I understand, and maybe the chat can tell us. What I understand is that he was on an all fruit diet towards the end. Like he just ate fruit.
Hmm.
Like he didn't eat other food. He just ate fruit. And then he got some kind of a very rapidly, what do you call it? Growing cancer that
Mhm.
took him out pretty quickly. But I'm not sure if the fruit was involved. But I thought I heard a theory of like he ate like a weird kind of fruit and then something got into his brain. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the full story. Um,
Now, I know you've already answered this already, but I just see somebody in the chat mentioning it. Do you want
which
to just
one?
clarify
Here.
it? Um, um, the
He
guy with the name
refused.
Balls in it, right? About stop striking channels. Do you want to
Yes, you and I have
clarify
talked
that?
about that.
Mhm.
Citizen M said that, and I told you he texted me. I was like, I'm not going to talk about that. Like, I've never
Mm,
struck anyone's channel. I wouldn't know how. Um,
mhm.
we've been through this, and I
Yeah,
also
no, I
thought
just wanted to
I thought it
because
was very
obviously
rude for Citizen
new
M.
people.
Citizen M's like, Rochi's a mod and I'm not. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You want to know why? Because you flip on me and listen to like nonsense every other week and then you apologize. And it's like, I don't lie. I'll tell you the truth. If I did something like that, I would tell you. I haven't even taken the time to go to his channel, anything, but I did take the time, as you know, with
Hmm.
typos to respectfully let him know that I would never do that and didn't do that. Um,
Well, so I will say this, Ashley. I think you've known Citizen M way longer than I have, and I think he's coming from the perspective of you two are friends, right? Yeah,
who?
you and Citizen M, right? I'm
I
making that
wouldn't say
assumption.
friends. He's been on my
Well,
channel for like 5 years. I thought we were friendly.
okay. Well, in that case, then I understand why he's like, okay, why is this English bloke come out of nowhere and all of a sudden he's got a wrench in your chat? I understand where he's coming from in that regard, right? Can you understand that?
Yes and no, but yeah, please do continue.
Well, no, I mean, like, I understand where he's coming from in that perspective.
But you've always been consistent with me. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
there
I
are a
mean,
couple.
okay, prime example then, consistent, right? The first conversation we ever had, and forgive me if I misquote you, but I believe you said, "Can you explain why you called me a dumb cunt on stream?" And I said, "Okay, come in the voice chat and we'll talk." And you explained to me, and I explained to you the reason why I called you a dumb cunt was because, in my perspective, my view was okay. You accepted money to go on a podcast talking about getting fingered by Mr. Querfing, and then to give you credit, you said, well, actually, the circumstances around that was I had to pay some bills, therefore I went on and did it. And I went, okay, I personally would never have done that, but I'm not a female, neither do I have to pay bills. In which case, if I was in your situation, that is the only logical outcome in order to pay those bills. So, and we settled that, right? So, like you said, I'm consistent. I was like, okay, fine. I understand why you did that. It's not something I would do, but I'm not you, you know? So, yeah, so you're right. I am consistent, right?
I think also we've learned that I'm working on being reactive and impulsive, like, too sensitive for this environment sometimes, right?
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I think that was before you got to know me a little bit better. But for the example with the other person, so you and I had a conversation, I think Friday, and then we went on Pineapple on Saturday.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I did everything that you asked or that you
Yeah.
suggested, right? And
Hmm.
then for him to, and then we discussed it on that show, and then for him to, like, somebody that I think I know and I'm friendly with accuse me of something, like, it was just like, okay, again, and this is the second or third time
Mm.
um in 3 or 4 months, or the second, I think. And I did make a mistake before, but it was a very honest mistake.
Sure.
That by the way,
Mhm.
I'll just say that the person he thinks he's defending publicized literally like 2 weeks ago. But enough about that. You were going to
Mhm.
say something. Please go ahead.
Okay, so there's another thing that's going to come up, and I know this happened on Saturday, and immediately you called me out and said, "You're trolling me,"
No, so
right?
back to what you were saying before, you being consistent. Remember the first time we ever
Mhm.
communicated? What did I say to you?
Uh, you said, well, the first thing you said to me is, "Why did you call me a cunt?"
Well, I
That's
think
the
I
first thing.
wanted to be
Yeah, yeah,
straightforward with you,
yeah, yeah. Of
right?
course, yeah, 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 yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
so I'm not the kind of person that will just like pretend to be nice or pretend I didn't hear something that I heard. And especially
Mhm.
if somebody seems like intellectually stimulating or cool or something,
Mm.
like, you know what I mean? Or I'm communicating with them. I just like to get down to the point. And then the other day, yeah, I wanted to confirm you were just quote unquote proverbially, what's the word? Like busting my balls proverbially.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Well, so, and again,
Good
this is going
natured
to happen.
ribbing, if you will.
Yeah, as we're talking right now, that's leading up to that happening again right now. Yeah, but you're aware of what I'm about to say, I assume, right? Partly because
No,
you, right? Okay. So on
but I
Saturday, I
didn't
said
have
to you,
you on to do that.
no, no, no. But just in general, I'm saying like this is how I am with my friends, right? So why wouldn't I treat you any differently than I would others, right? So therefore, on Saturday, I did say to you, "Oh yeah, Ashley, why don't you tell the horse story?" And straight away you went, "You're trolling me." And before I could answer you, Ickle carried on and said, "No, actually, Ashley, can you tell that story? I'm genuinely interested." And you told that story. Now, that being said, I said that thinking, "Oh, you'll laugh it off and go, all right, okay, he's asked me that multiple times, and I've told him I don't want to talk about that story." But when Ickle asked you, you went on to tell that story. So, as a test to see whether you know whether we're messing around or not, I'm going to say to you again, okay, Ashley, are you willing to tell the whole story?
Is that a joke? The reason I told the story on the other day was I was like, maybe for once and for all, this will
Mhm.
end it. If you're being a little shit, or how did you guys explain it to me? You're being a cunt.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
being very cunty.
Yeah.
So we're not doing that again. Let's get to
Right,
your
okay.
fashion though. What kind of shorts do we got going on over there?
No, these are not shorts. These are jogging bottoms. Partly because again, it's like what 20 past 3 in the morning. When you messaged me, I was almost ready to like pack everything up and go to sleep. And then as soon as I saw you message me going, "Can you test out like Streamyard? Like, if you're
Well,
around, are
thank
you
you for
able to help me
doing
out?" I
that.
went, "Okay, I'll help Ashley out." Whilst at the same time, like doing it, I thought, okay, it's going to be live on YouTube, I assume, but I generally didn't think you'd figure out
Figure
how
it
to go
out.
live from Streamyard. I thought, there's no way Ashley's going to figure that out, right? But here we are, you know.
It took me a second. I don't want to keep you up. It did take me a
Yes.
second. But tell me why you do want to keep asking me that question. Like
I tell
to
you
get
why,
a
Ashley, is
reaction. I'm
because
not gonna
I am.
cry again about
No, no,
it.
no, not at all. I'm fascinated by this because as you just said, I'm not going to cry again. The first time we ever spoke about that, you started to tear up. We could hear it in your voice, and we went, "Okay, what? Why is that such a like? Why is that such a hard hitting point?" Because as everybody that's watching you now, that watches you on a regular, knows, you get very emotional when talking about your parents, for example, which is fair enough. But with the horses, we didn't expect you to be like that emotional about it, right? And what was strange is as soon as you said, "I don't want to talk about it," that made everybody immediately interested in that story. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
100%. I've learned that it's kind of like a Dabbleverse thing. If I think it started with me saying that I didn't look pretty in a picture. I didn't like a picture. So it's like
Mhm.
make Ashley look as ugly as possible. And it says if I don't want to talk about this, then keep asking her about this. So I tried Rochi with my brain because my brain doesn't work that way. I tried to
Mm.
reverse it. I was like, I can make this work for
Mm.
me. My brain just doesn't work that way. The
Okay,
reason
so
I didn't want to talk about it is because it's emotional for me and I don't want to cry a lot. Especially, you
Well,
know.
fair enough then. Then
But
how
I
about
will
this
say
then,
that
Ash?
I don't think a lot of people maybe don't value animals as much. So it's
Hmm.
not emotional for them. But also for me, just to clear it up, um, make it crystal clear, so we were raised with horses. We had horses our whole lives, but the horses that we got out here, like when I wasn't allowed to go see the horse anymore, the horse, as far as I know, is still alive and well, hopefully. But when I wasn't allowed to go there anymore to the stables where the horses are kept, it sort of felt like losing my horse and losing my sister and losing, so it was like a double loss, if that makes sense.
So, see again, even with what you just said there, it brings up this question. So, why, like, who was stopping you going to see the horses? Is it like, was it a private stable? Is that what's happening?
So it's a private stable, yes. And there's cameras everywhere.
Hmm.
Literally, it's a little bit. Yeah, it used to feel a little bit funny sometimes. But no, my it basically, like, the guy that owns it is always there. If I was to go there, it would just turn into a whole thing.
Hmm. Okay, so
Basically,
like you
here's how
said,
it works. Here's how it works. People
go on.
get horses and they're
Mhm.
kept in stables, and
Yeah,
you pay
I'm aware of
for
that.
the
Yeah.
stable.
Yeah, you pay for the upkeep of the people looking like up after the animal
There's
while
also that
shedding.
as well, right?
Yeah.
They need to go out every day. They need to be fed. They need fresh
Mhm.
water twice a day, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's people that run the horses. There's people that clean the stables.
Mhm.
I like to go like at least 3 or 4. I used to like to go at least 3 or 4 times a week because, quite frankly, I don't mind cleaning my own horse's stall and
Mm.
shit. And I don't really like the other guys to do it. I see how hard they work. And
Mhm.
a lot of people have horses that they just never go see. You know what I
So,
mean? So it's weird, but it's a thing.
so not
Um,
only were you keeping this horse obviously as a I don't want to use the term pet because that just don't sound right, right? Because
no,
pets
I
to
think,
me.
I mean, it's more like with horses. It's more. I mean, pet is not inappropriate. It's not wrong.
Mm,
It's more like it's like your buddy. It's like your companion. Like
mm.
horses are empathic. They're highly intelligent. Um,
So
so
next question is then, would you ride that horse? See, again, you say
I
horse,
love we're
but
on my channel and you're asking all the questions. Go ahead, Mochi.
right. Well, so there was two horses. Am I correct? Yeah, you had two horses, right? Not just the one.
Okay, I'm gonna cut off the horse conversation here. I feel like maybe it's time for you to go Betty bye. What do you think?
Well, okay, that's fine. But the reason why I was asking that is because my next question would have been, would you ride that horse on a regular? In which case, how is that? Like,
So that's a great question, actually, and I'll answer that because when my sister and I grew up, there was a very different way of training horses, especially to
hmm,
put saddles on them and stuff. Horses are
mhm.
wild animals, right?
They call them breaking them in, right? If you put a saddle on them, right? Is that called
Very,
breaking them
very,
in?
very good.
Yeah.
It's called breaking. I don't know if they say it differently in England, but
Hmm,
I used to see. So we had 27 acres in Roanoke, Virginia, and like a lineage of horses.
hmm,
And I would see like the horses go away to the guy who broke the horses, who would take them
hmm.
for 4 to 6 weeks,
Oh,
and they would. And the whole thing, it was like not even a joke. Like you break the horse's spirit. They beat
mhm,
them physically. They did all kinds of stuff, and the horses would come back different horses. So to answer your question about the last horse that I had out here, Cash, um,
cash.
so right. So there were two that we adopted, and
Mhm,
there's a different kind of training called Liberty now. So instead of using anything like whips or there's no breaking, it's all like working with them. Like, for example, one of the horses we adopted was 18 years old and would never ride again. So when I would go
So,
hang out with her, I would just brush her, walk her, like just get her exercise, go get grass. Cash, see, now I'm going to get upset. Cash, I was getting ready to ride. So, but slowly.
well, Ash, like I know we're going to move on in a second, but
Yeah, we need to move
what?
on. We need to get back to
Well,
fashion. Did you
well,
see
we
what
will do
happened
in a
to Little
second. So,
Nas X? Little Nas
uh,
X is
no,
out
I don't.
there making
Isn't he a
fashion
rapper,
statements.
right?
Making fashion statements in little tidy whitey underwear, matching white cowboy boots.
Okay.
Please. Do
Well,
finish. But,
so yeah, sorry, Ash, just real quick. What breed
and
of
then I'm going to
horse
ask you a few questions.
Yeah, by all means. But what I'm intrigued. What breed of horse is that? I know nothing about horses. The only thing I know about horses is the police horses we have over here, and they're extremely fucking tall. And I forget what their name of horse that
Thoroughbreds,
breed,
probably, or quarter
but
horses.
they're really fucking huge. So I don't know
Oh,
what
do they
breed of
have the
horse you had.
big? Do they have the Clydesdales? Do they have the big feet?
Yeah, with the hairy
Those are Clydesdales
hooves.
usually. There's
Yeah.
other versions of them.
Mm.
So there's the horses are their height is measured in it's called hands. So it's
Oh, right,
basically
okay.
the foot up to the top of the shoulder.
Mhm.
Yeah, Clydesdales are huge.
Okay. So
They're very
what
big
breed
horses.
was your horse? Because I generally don't know nothing about horses, to be honest. But do you know what
So if
breed it
I
was?
tell you the breed, what more are you gonna know? Thoroughbred mixed with a quarter horse.
All right. Okay.
The
No.
last
So
one.
therefore, no. Now it's out there. Doesn't need to be ever asked again. That's what I'm getting at, right? Yeah. And then we can go,
But
and then you
why
can
don't
ask me whether I saw little Nas X walking around in his tighty whities. I don't follow any rappers, and I clearly know nothing about fashion. So
I think I only know because I do follow this one channel that covers celebrities sometimes. He's called Slow.
TMZ.
TMZ comes out, but he covers TMZ. He's called Sloan Well Known.
All right.
But basically, and I called bullshit on this story because I know LA and apparently Little Nas X, who's a rapper, I don't know much about these people either, just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rapper. He's the one that did the cowboy song that was very popular, but he's a melanated man. He's a dark-skinned man. I don't know if you remember.
Is
He was
that?
very famous for this cowboy thing.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just wondering whether that is Little Nas X. I know nothing about rap. So
Hold on one second. Little Nas X. Do you want to hear here? Well, they're
but
gonna
be
do.
careful. You can't play his music. Remember, you'll
I
get
know. Thank you.
copyright,
I
yeah?
wanted to just show you his situation, his current situation. So I called bullshit on it because he's in the middle of West Hollywood and there's
Mhm.
no cars there. And it's the middle of the night and he's wearing literally just underwear and boots. Okay.
Wait,
We can't get
sorry,
structured.
Ashley. Is it? Wait, sorry. Isn't this the guy that went crazy and was running around nude while he was on drugs? Is this that story?
Same guy, I think. Like in the last week or two. I mean, they all literally do. I mean, can you see?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
on,
He's
listen.
clearly on some sort of narcotic, and yeah. And you're saying this is a fake story, right?
No, I'm saying I thought it was a fashion statement. If you see the
Oh, right.
cowboy
Okay.
boots, they're quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, no drugs. See the cowboy boots?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
No drugs found in his system. Um,
No drugs found in his system,
None.
and he did that.
I know. I thought it was a fake story at first because I was like, even at 3 a.m., there's cars that will be driving in LA, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just a thing. And there was no cars. So I was like, this feels like they shut up. And TMZ will do that kind of stuff. Like I know actresses that like if they're falling out of relevancy,
Mm-hmm.
they hire. I never knew this was a thing because you think you watch TMZ and you think it's like an organic thing, like they just the paparazzi,
No.
the pops, they just found these
Wait.
people. But like I remember a girlfriend of mine who was also a student practicing for like 2 hours about her pretend pop-up TMZ. She was gonna go to the gas station and TMZ
Mm-hmm.
was gonna pop up on her.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you, Ashley. And I know you don't like talking about your sister and shit like that, but you're saying you having a famous sister, and you're like, I wasn't aware that like this isn't organic, and people have publicists, and people have publicists that reach out to newspapers or what they call it, like paparazzi, to film them when they're conveniently looking at their best in a bikini at the beach, even though it's a private beach, but they're always at their best like angle. You know what I mean? Like clearly that's
Right. No, my sister is a
right.
publicist. She has managers. She has all kinds of people.
Mhm.
She's probably done it, but I think at this point she doesn't do it. I don't know. You would have to ask her.
A prime example, right? This man right here, yeah, Chad Zumach. Are you aware that he was paying for ads for his Instagram to be promoted on
That
Instagram?
sounds about right.
Mm.
I heard that he was paying for subscribers as well. Or is that,
Well,
sorry, view counts or whatever it is?
oh right, live viewers. I generally don't know whether that's
How
true or
does that
not.
even work? Is it just like a bunch of kids in another country? Like,
Well, well, I assume it's bot farms actually, where people have like
oh, so it's not
different.
even real people.
No, no, no. It's just all like automated shit. I assume. I don't. I generally don't know. But I assume that's what's happening. It's funny that you said maybe that Chad's doing that because Chad's currently moving, as well as claiming
I
that
heard.
he has like quite a few, like maybe 10 or 12 people that are. And I'm going to ask you in a second. Is that an alcoholic beverage?
Yes, it's a Stella Artois.
Oh, nice one. Do you know what we call that over here?
A pint
No, no, we call that a wife beater drink.
is,
Because normally,
Stella from Streetcar Named
mhm.
Desire.
Yeah, but not only that, normally people that drink that normally tend to get like a little bit feisty at the end of the night, and they go home and clearly, the wife says something they don't like, and you know, as
Oh,
Sean Connery said, sometimes you got to smack a bitch, right?
I mean, if Sean Connery said it, it must be true.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
What?
Well, actually,
Sometimes.
that's an interesting talk. So, all right, Ashley, right? So you've been married prior, and R.I.P. to that gentleman, right? But if that were to happen to you, would you tolerate that, or would you like end the relationship immediately if somebody raised their hand towards you?
That's a great question. So, I think relationships are tricky, right? And the only two people know what's happening in a relationship are the two people in them.
Hmm.
But so that's actually how I left my last husband, is because he got physically
Sorry,
violent.
sorry, real quick. You said last husband. You've been married more than once. Do you
No,
mind
I've
me
only
asking?
been married once. That's how I
Right. Okay.
left
So,
my
yeah.
husband.
Yeah.
So he got physically violent,
Hmm.
and with that kind of change in demeanor or behavior, plus his style of drinking, I just told myself, like, this guy's gonna hurt me and not even mean to hurt me. You know what I mean? Like, he was very like inebriated when it happened, but it still happened. Um, uh, so yes. And I think also pretty much, so I was engaged before him, and this guy, long story short, um, he put his hands on my throat and I left. Yeah. So I think there is something in my body that just goes when guys get like that.
Yeah, it's strange. I clearly you can't tell by the look of me, but I've never raised my hand towards any female, let alone the missus I'm with. She would kick my ass. But that being said, yeah, no, it's interesting to find because some, I don't know, maybe it's like an old school thing, but some women used to say, well, maybe I deserve to get hit, which is strange, right? Because I don't think
Well, I
that's the
think,
case when you're in a relationship, right? Doesn't it work both ways? In which case, like, why should you accept physical violence?
well, exactly. I don't think anyone should have, like, I was going to say also, unpopular opinion coming from a woman. It's not always, I've seen couples that the woman seems scary. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure
Mm,
if she's like hurting the dude or whatever. And sometimes
mm,
they're different sizes or whatever. Um, but everyone's got to figure out their own boundaries, what they will and will not accept, right?
mhm.
But I think what you just explained is a perfect example of denial. So, for example, I had a situation where I got physically injured from a situation. Doesn't
Mm.
matter. Long story short, um, there was a door between us, but like, and so I said to my friends, like, well, I don't think if I was in the way, if I think I was just in his way, basically.
Hmm.
Like if I wasn't in his way, I don't think he would have pushed through the door, whatever. And
Wait, was it a normal door or was it a door with a window in?
it was a
Did he?
normal door, and I was like,
So he didn't know
go. And
you
he's
were
like,
on the
no, I'm
opposite
coming in
side,
to
right?
get
As he
something.
opened.
And I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
no, you can't get it. And then we were playing like not tug of war, opposite of tug of war. Like I was pushing on one side, he was pushing on the other, and I just ended up falling and getting hurt. But the bottom line is, a lot of my friends, and I agree with this, is like nobody that loves you or cares about you and your welfare would ever let you get hurt
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
and then leave you hurt. So,
So,
I mean, that's kind of a 101 thing. I feel like
so,
that's like,
so
but back to what you were saying, I don't
yeah, go
think it's cool to hit women, but I don't think it's actually cool to hit anyone, you know?
so, so I saw a couple of comments in the chat. Are you, are you keeping up with little things? I did see you in a couple of chats. I won't name where you were at, but I saw you yesterday.
You don't
Um,
dox me.
no, I'm not. No, how's that doxing?
No, I'm joking. I'm being
Yeah,
facetious.
yeah. How is that doxing? Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but talking of like this Dabbleverse area and shit, right? What do you think of this Karmic X and Felicia thing? Do you think that's real or do you think that's made up?
You're so funny. I don't know, actually. You know who I got into recently, who I think are cool people
Go
to
on.
watch? The anti-social girls.
Pretty
Pretty
anti-social.
antisocial.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
really like those girls.
mhm.
I don't totally get, because I don't follow Steel Toe, so I don't totally get a lot of the stuff that they cover, but I like them in general. And they covered it recently. And I thought they had there's funny stuff that I did not know about. Like I didn't know that things were paid for, like plane
Mhm.
tickets and all kinds of other things, by either one person or many people. So that seems a little interesting. And then also there's just, sorry, what were we gonna say? I feel like you're gonna say
No,
something.
well, it's interesting you bring that up because right now, again, a lot of people that have seen me knows that I do this a lot often, right? Where I just think off the top of my head and just spray it out without actually thinking what I'm about to say that comes out. But I'm off the thought pattern right now as we speak that maybe, just maybe, this whole relationship with Karmic X and Felicia is a made up thing. Only because, yes, I did watch Melton earlier today. Yes, I did watch his coverage of Karmic X and how he pointed out how Karmic, while he was with Felicia, wasn't smoking cigarettes, wasn't drinking. And as soon as he went home, he's smoking cigarettes and he's drinking. So it kind of made me go, well, if you really are in a relationship that's just natural, why on earth would you change things like everybody in the chat saying work, right? Why else would you do it if you weren't taking that seriously enough?
There are 2 points there before you continue, and I hope I'm not interrupting you.
No, no.
First of all, why would you want to change someone else so drastically, so quickly? Do you see what I'm saying? Like
Well,
if you see a man who's maybe drinking excessively, that's his decision. Like I just think people should do what they need to do. Obviously, there are other people that I've said, probably can someone get them help? But, to also want to, like, you're not a rehab, right? To want to make somebody quit all of these things so quickly, that is like I think a jolting sort of set of circumstances for a human body anyway. Like you should kind of just imagine if you, like, you weren't married in another universe, and you met a woman that you liked and she was like, stop smoking, stop doing anything else that you like to do. You know what I mean? Or whatever is
yeah,
advice.
yeah. I wouldn't
Well,
tolerate it at all.
that
Yeah.
feels interesting. But then
Hmm.
the other thing is his choice to do it as well,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. But again, if it's a
Do you
work,
want to read our super chat?
yeah, please. You want me to read this? This ain't gonna
Yes,
go well.
please.
So this is from, is that Chris Thompson? I believe. Yeah. $2, right? Yeah. Hey Ashley, just swinging by to say hi. Fuck Jake Hudson. Which, yeah, I think everybody here can agree with that, right?
Who's Jake Hudson?
Exactly. But you made up a good point just now. You said about like forcing people into rehab, for example. Are you not okay with that? Because I know that's an American thing, right? What do they call that?
I'm not cool with it. I experienced an intervention, and to be very crystal clear, I went to one fake rehab. It was not a real rehab.
Mhm.
But I did have a real intervention, and I think interventions are not the way to go. They can be very traumatizing. So I think there's a lot of good intentions behind it. I think mostly the people have the best, and also they're varying levels of states of addiction and stuff. So if somebody's like
Mm.
literally killing themselves and dying, like it's called the 12th step in
Yeah.
AA, but go 12 step someone. Yeah, like go save someone for sure. But in general, I don't think that they're super effective. I think people kind of have to be ready. Like, our friend that I won't say his name, but that I hooked up
Yeah,
with
yeah,
my
yeah,
friend
yeah.
right here.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
like, as sweet and as ready as he is in a lot of ways, when he's ready, he has the I like to call it the rope, the help rope. Age of Coral.
Please, please, Ashley, you read this one because it's a bigger number.
Age of Coral. Thank you for the $5. I agree with Ashley. It's never okay to hit a lady unless you're Sean Connery. What was the context that he said that in?
I think I think it's a famous interview he's doing for like a movie that he's in. Like, they
So it
do the
wasn't it wasn't a line in a movie. It was him.
no, no, no. He was doing an interview, and I think he just randomly. I think the interviewer was asking him something about like some other celebrities having a fight or something, and he was like, "No, well, sometimes you just got to slap a bitch," which is crazy because you go, "Wait, what?" You know, like where's that come from? But anyway, yeah,
But
yeah.
I will say this: there have been a few women, as a woman, that I feel like should have gotten a smack across the face. Just saying. Not in the
So
Dabbleverse, in life. I'm just saying, like, men can act like jerks too, but women are not always like the whole like don't smack women. It's also like don't hit men either.
true,
I've
yeah, yeah.
actually seen in the last 5 years at least two situations or heard of two situations where women were being like physically abusive to men.
Felicia
And
Gillespie,
sometimes
Felicia
they're
Gillespie,
stuck in
yeah.
a cycle because they won't hit the woman back. And it's like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, of course. And also we now live in society now has changed completely, right? Which I imagine in the 60s it was probably the opposite, which is a woman gets hit, she obviously must have deserved it. She needs to stay in line, if you will. And again, I know that's an old school way of looking at it, but my understanding it was pretty common, at least over here. I don't know what it was like in the States, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure until the 60s or the 70s, a man
Mhm,
could I saw this in a documentary recently. A
mhm.
man could drop his wife off. Maybe it was the 50s. A man could drop his wife off at a psych ward, not state any reason, just say she's acting crazy, I'm dropping her off, and then leave and go get married to someone else and like get a divorce and they would keep her.
So So I got to ask you this because it just
Someone
popped
double
in my
check
head.
me on that, please. Sorry, go
Well,
ahead, Rochi.
okay. So this just popped in my head. The last time I saw you were live, you one said that you thought you were already live and had been talking away for 30 minutes, and you seemed very annoyed at yourself that you didn't. Thankfully, like you said, you're not going to repeat what you said at that time. But you were visibly upset over watching a
Hurricane
documentary.
Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina, right? And you kept mentioning this one helicopter.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
So, but did they only send one helicopter, or was there
They,
more?
I
Or,
don't know if there's just one, but
Hmm,
they sent a few to survey the first
hmm,
couple days, 2, 3 days. These people were without food and water for a total of 5 days. Rescue didn't start until the fifth day. But this
hmm,
one helicopter flies by. These like okay, so first of all, the whole city is like 5 to 7 feet underwater, and this helicopter flies by, like checking on people and the excuse was that they had to get like the most dire situations. They were looking for the worst case scenario people to save, but they see these people with like, you know, hardly any clothes and on the second floor of a thing with a baby and like holding up a sign that says help, like they wrote on a towel or something. And the guy, you could just hear the guy on the helicopter, he goes, yeah, they look all right, they look fine. It's like, what? They were the furthest thing from fine. They needed help.
So, is
What
it a
breaks
case
my
of a
heart the most
helicopter?
is the animals. What?
Well, the only reason why I'm curious because one, I'm not sure whether I've seen the same documentary you have, so I'm
It
trying to
just came
picture
out. It's on
in my mind.
Netflix. It's called
Oh, it
Katrina.
is. All right, okay. I'll look out for that then, because I'm curious. Because if that's the first helicopter in, maybe the only excuse they could have there is, oh, those people are clearly alive, and they're not trapped. So therefore, they look for other people. That could be the only logical
That is
excuse.
an excuse. Air Force One also flew over, which is
Mhm.
and after Air Force One flew over, it was 2 or 3 days before they sent any help efforts. They also kept 150 helicopters and planes grounded in DC, or I'm not sure if it was a DC, in some military place, and the orders were not to go save these people. And then when they decided to finally send in help, or when they finally decided to send in resources, they activated martial law. They started arresting people and shooting people.
Right. Okay. So I must admit I don't know too much of. I'm aware of the hurricane happening.
No, I
Obviously,
wouldn't imagine you
over
to. It's like American history from 20 years ago. I just find it fascinating
well,
because, like, I was
the
younger
one
when I
thing I
saw it.
do remember is everybody in the. I want to say, is it the Astrodome? I could be wrong. It's some sort of
Superdome, you're very close.
Superdome, right?
Superdome,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
the
And
top of the Superdome flew
mhm.
off.
But I do remember like um, news footage of inside the Astrodome or wherever the fuck that place
Superdome,
is
yeah.
called. Yeah, Superdome. Forgive me. Um, and then they saying that apparently people were looting in the streets, and you go, well, wait a minute. I thought everybody's here because there is no streets because they're like literal flooding. So how can people be looting at the same time? It was strange. But again, this is what 20 odd years ago now.
Exactly 20 years ago. It was 2005. But
Mhm,
they ran out of food and water in the Superdome. Not only that, the Superdome was completely overpacked with people. People were dying in there. They were just
mhm,
covering over bodies. The the hurricane took out the top of the Superdome, so it was leaking water inside of it.
mhm,
The authorities just kept telling them to go this direction, go that direction, just basically putting them in a like a monkey circle. Like it was
mhm.
terrible. So finally, on the third or fourth day, people are with not water. Remember, I manage my mom's hospice. We can go like
Yeah.
I don't know, a couple weeks without food, 4 or 5 days without water. Your body starts to shut down. That's what
Mhm,
hospice is, death by dehydration. So
mhm,
after 4 days or something, people started. It wasn't like there's water everywhere, and the levees, I think, stopped rising, or more water stopped after the third or fourth day. But these people are starving, so they
mhm,
go into stores. I remember seeing this, like, and they did this so like in such a messed up way. Like they showed a young boy who was a melanated boy with a trash bag. Like this boy is swimming after looting, and then they show a white couple with soda. Honda, we got this, with soda and beers, or soda and bread. This
mhm.
couple just got through the water after finding soda and bread. It's like, so that guy's looting, but the white people are heroes. Like, it didn't make sense. And also, they overemphasized the intensity of the people. You have to understand, these are the poorest people in one of
Mhm.
the poorest cities in the United States. Well, New Orleans isn't that poor, but the Ninth Ward. So these are people that don't have cars. They don't usually have food. They're already living really rough lives. And now
Mhm.
they've been swimming through water with dead bodies. If they even survived, made it to the Superdome, there's no food, no water. And then after 3, 4 days, some
Yeah.
of them had 5-year-old babies. A girl had a
So,
5-year-old baby. and it was so hot. It was August of September, August like 20th or something of 2005. So they finally start finding places that have food and opening up the doors and getting food, and then they're getting shot by National Guard. And then the way they did it on the media, one of these women was like, she said it perfectly. She was like, I was part of it and I want to apologize. We made it seem like these people were very aggressive, but what crowd of 200,000 people in the lowest socioeconomic status they could be in aren't going to be angry and aggressive after 3 to 4 days with no food, dead bodies everywhere, no water. It's almost like that's what pissed me off. It's like I felt like they positioned them to look terrible and then attack them.
Yeah, it's
by
strange.
not helping them.
I do want to ask you this question, and again, just out of curiosity, because I didn't understand what you meant by this, but I don't know whether this is a common American phrase or whether maybe it's in that book that you have there. You said they made them go around in a monkey circle.
I can't believe it. So there's a saying that I derived that saying from like if things get crazy, like the Dabbleverse can get, I'll say, not my circus, not my monkeys. I do realize when I said monkey, what I meant to say, they were just diverting people and having them walk like 2 miles in one direction, 2 miles another direction, just to walk back to the same shit show situation.
They were just basically keeping them busy.
I did not mean to say.
Yeah, they were keeping them busy at that time to like until they come back, right? But
well,
like
they were wasting their time. I think they didn't even know what to do.
But also, like I said, in my head, I'm going, okay, is that a common American phrase? And as you just explained, you're equating that to, this is not my circus, they're not my monkeys.
Right, that's right. So if you imagine, the police didn't know what to do because they didn't have federal funding. It was I'll say this, it was a very embarrassing demonstration of every single level of government failure for a large group of people that needed help. But not my circus.
It's almost as if it was a natural disaster, and unfortunately in times like that, government and agencies get caught out because you go, oh, we wasn't prepared for the worst case scenario to happen, right? And in which case, my understanding with that hurricane is they sort of knew it was going to be bad. They just didn't know it was going to be that fucking bad. And that exposed America, the leader of the free world, not being prepared enough and to look after their own citizens. Yeah.
What's even worse than that is the hurricane didn't do all the damage. It was the breaking of the levees. And like I said on the last live, there was a hurricane 40 years before that in 1965 called Hurricane Betsy. And the people in the 9th Ward, the same exact group of people that live close to the levees, heard a shot. There was a hurricane, but then they heard a shot, like a boom shot. And then in 2005 with Katrina, same thing, but they heard 2 shots and then the levees broke. So it's almost like as if the hurricane came and they had an excuse to blow up the levees.
Ooh.
Because all of that got destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Same thing as like Hawaii, LA with the fires. It's like some of it just seems very coordinated or oddly. Yeah, especially when you put, so the witnesses are the people that they want to have zero credibility. Everyone that was in the 9th Ward when that happened. So who's listening to them? That's another reason I'm really happy that they did the documentary. But they try to discredit them before that anyway by starving them, right?
And also to your point, right?
Who's going to believe? Should I let Kaz on? Kaz is our friend, right?
Yeah. Kaz is cool. Yeah, let Kaz on. Yeah, if Kaz is here.
What's up, Kaz?
Hey, how's it going? I don't know if you can hear me. Real good. Yeah.
Hear you perfectly.
Good. Yeah. How's it going? How's everybody doing?
We're good. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm working StreamYard. It works.
Oh, fuck up echo.
That's
I'm gonna do it better like that.
actually no. Actually, that's a perfect lineup
I like it
because
better.
all right, okay, because that looked like BYB, and I know that you'd like to go, yeah, screw BYB. That's what was funny about it. Yeah.
How's it going, Kaz?
Yeah, I'm good now. I just sorry, I had to sort something out. I was things going a little bit wrong with the audio settings, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're okay.
We're all getting there. This is my first time using StreamYard, so thank you for being here.
No, that's all cool. That's all cool. That's all good. It's so yeah. How you getting on with StreamYard? Are you starting to stream? You because you obviously got a channel that I guess you used to do a few things on. So how's it going with the StreamYard?
But this is the first time I'm using it, and it seems to be going pretty well. I have you two on here, so
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. I
I
know
feel like I'm kind
some
of
of the
killing
comments.
it.
Some of the it's like oh yeah, I get the same. You get some people in the comments. You know, there's some of them. You know, they can be a bit off, And how are you, Rochi? Not spoken for a little while. How's it going?
Yeah, we haven't spoken for about an hour, so yeah, we're all good. I like the fact that you're holding your vape pen like it's an actual cigarette. That's a cool move to do.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't use the British vernacular for that one. But
Well,
yeah,
I try my
we
best
we
not
get-
to.
we
A
get-
bag.
Yeah, I try my best not to swear on this channel. I'm fully aware that straight away. Me and Ashley said about 6 cunt words, but you know, try and space it out within an hour. You might get away with it. You know?
Yeah, no, that's it. I just had to. I had to get things. I don't know what happened. It was probably echoed like heck when I came on, but that's all good. But so what are we talking about? Surely we're not talking about Hurricane Katrina, are we still? Because that's
No, we're moving on to another subject, aren't we? Or Rochi,
Yes,
did you have
Ashley.
something?
Yeah, no. Let's talk about Kaz's fashion sense because this is and I know you can take this away and do this because I'll be honest, Kaz has an interesting style that I've not seen before, which is he has multiple hats, multiple shirts, and never will you see him in the same outfit.
yeah. There is. I do have. Look, this is just something I threw on. Just threw something on. I didn't really. Sometimes I mean, I don't mean any disrespect. Like I didn't really sort of make an effort tonight to come on and jump on. It was a kind of last minute thing, and I would usually make an effort, but tonight I just threw on what I had. But there you go.
I wanted to say, so Kaz, just off the bat, I think I've been on your stream once and now you're on mine, but we've messaged each other. I haven't noticed your sense of fashion. I do have that funny thing where I'm like, I've worn this on a stream before, so I don't want to wear it again. A friend of mine was like, Ashley, you have to let that go, like nobody's going to notice. But back to what we were talking about, I don't know if you heard anything from before you popped on. Rochi was like, Ashley, you should talk about people in the Dabbleverse fashion and stuff like this. And I was like thinking, and also I think my response was, I don't think that many people in the Dabbleverse care about fashion, but also I am definitely not like a fashion guru. I think that people's fashion, if they feel comfortable, you can see it and feel it. And that's kind of fashion, and if that makes sense. But
Yeah,
I
I
really
think
dig your
different people
vibe, Kaz, like
different.
the shirt and the
Yeah, I mean,
hat.
different people can carry different vibes. I mean, I find I'm quite sort of flexible with what I can carry on different sort of days, and how I'm feeling, and carry it all right. I think it's if you can carry it confidently. That's the main thing. But yeah, there's I used to obviously make more effort when I was younger, but I think it probably should be the other way. I think getting older, I probably need to make a bit more effort, And
You strike me as
so,
the kind of guy that wears like leather pants. Am I wrong?
well,
Do
look,
you
I
own some
wear
leather
tight.
pants? Or
I'm a
no?
bit, nowadays. I mean, I'm not Rochi. Look, I'll stand up to. No offense. Look, me and Rochi have a little bit of fun. All right, we have a bit of fun. But I'll show you, I'm not Rochi. I'm a reasonable looking perfectly reasonable looking fella.
Let's see the trousers.
And-
The trousers.
Oh, they're just some black corduroys. You can't really see them. I guess. I mean, I could. I don't know. No, you can't really see them. Just black corduroys. But yeah, it's they're just some black corduroys. But I haven't got enough lighting on to see them really. But yeah, it depends. My leather trouser days are sort of past me, but some stretchy tight jeans kind of work.
Hey, Ashley, why do I have the feeling that this could potentially be what happens whenever you try and do a group yoga session where people are just talking about what they're wearing and putting off actually getting down and doing some work? Yeah, is that?
Don't you even? I'm not. You know.
No, I'm not doing.
I'm
this
not in a.
stream either, mate.
I'm not in a. I'm not going to be doing that tonight, Rochi. So don't you?
No,
even,
I'm just saying in general because I know
don't
Ashley.
even hint towards it.
She doesn't mess around when it comes to doing yoga. She's like, okay,
No, I respect
chit
the
chat.
yoga
Now let's
thing.
get.
I absolutely respect it.
Hmm.
I mean, it's yeah, totally.
I was gonna say 100%. Like when we do our yoga stuff, it's gonna be Ashley and teacher yoga mode. So we can chat after, and that's really fun. But we're gonna be doing our stuff. I
mean, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. I've got to tidy up. I mean, I blur out because I'm redoing this studio. So at the moment, I kind of just blur it out and keep it dark at the back because it sort of needs redoing. And that'll give me a bit more space and I can put the camera a bit wider and whatnot. So
this microphone is
yeah.
very cool. What is on the bottom? Is it like
What's that?
your microphone is very cool. It looks like it has like something cool attached on the bottom, like a cross or something.
Do you know what? It's literally just technical shit. It's nothing particularly anything. It's nothing stylish. It's just it's more technical shit. And
It looks very stylish.
also because I had an accident and bust my teeth, I hide behind the pop shield. I'll be honest, but people know that. People who know me know that anyway. So. I've got a little bit of a busted grill, so got to go over to Turkey get a couple of new teeth. But
Ash, that's
it's all right. It's all good.
Seeing Kaz mention Turkey, there was a little thing going around with the Dabbleverse with Bob Levy. He would go to Turkey to get his teeth fixed, and people would make the assumption that his wife went over to get fresh Botox.
Turkey?
Yeah, in Turkey, right? So, which is strange because
from where? From what country?
Turkey.
No, but where do they live?
Oh, they live in America,
UK?
I believe in like New York, maybe. I'm not trying.
Yeah, like Bob Levy, he was ex Howard Stern guy, wasn't he? He's ex Howard Stern guy.
He used to be many moons ago on the shooting.
Comedian, New York comedian. So
yeah.
Do you guys know who Bulio is?
I don't. Kaz, do you know who does?
No. Wait, who is it? Let us know.
Do you guys see in the back? Can you guys see the backstage?
No, we can't. Only you can see. Actually.
It says Boolio. Bulio.
Can't say I know, to be honest, but
he left.
I will say this, Ashley. You did post your StreamYard link in your YouTube chat, so that means anybody watching can come on.
You guys,
I don't know whether that was your intention or whether,
lizard scars. Well, you told me to do that, I think, but also,
no. What I said to you was copy and paste and send it to me on Twitter.
Oh.
And the next thing I see is you posted it in YouTube chat, and I went, "Well, that works."
We probably don't even have that many people here, so.
Yeah, true, but I'm saying, maybe in the future
don't do that.
That's entirely up to you. I think it's a good idea if that's what you want to do. If you want to go, I'm going to do a stream, and let's see who's willing to pop up. Like, you never know. Like, maybe you could go, okay, I've got Citizen M in my chat. Okay, Citizen M, do you want to come on? And if he says yes, then you can post that link in the chat like that, and that's how he could get the link, rather than having to copy and paste individually to loads of people in private messages. You know?
See, would you have Citizen M on? Because he seemed like a bit of a detractor earlier. Like I don't know. I don't even know if he was a detractor. I think he was just. I think he had something to say. I don't know what it was. Something
I would
about
have him on right now. I mean, if we're gonna do this, am I in the Dabbleverse right now? Yes, Lizard, kind of in a
Well,
way. Will you gentlemen excuse me for 1 second? Yes, I would have him on. Will he come on? Can you
Yeah,
guys
Ash, I don't know whether he
hold it
will.
down?
come on
I'll be
tonight.
right back.
I'll keep it going just to keep the few people that are watching entertained.
Yeah, I mean that's
Podcast.
fine. I mean, I do have. I mean this. I mean, Citizen M. You know, I met his father once. You know, he's a Jewish guy, and you know, he was telling me about Citizen M. You know, it's City Dad M. You know, and my son, City Son M, and he said to me, he come to me, he asked about his birthday. He said, my birthday, father, what you going to get me? He said, you get me gold watch, you want Mercedes Benz, you want cardboard cutout of Patrick Melton. What do you want? He said, wait, let's do the bit properly, shall we? Let's try and do this properly. He said, no. He said, no, father, you don't understand. There's this thing called the internet. And I've seen this
And
girl.
seeing this is the Dabbleverse skull.
And this girl, and there's this thing that I want a woman. I said, you want a woman? I said, well, can your winkle touch your bottom? He said, no. I said, then go away. Next year, he come back to me. He say, father, it's my birthday. What you going to get me? I say, you want gold watch? You want Mercedes Benz? You want Red Bar radio, baseball cap? He said, no, father, I want a woman. This goes on for many years. He tried looking at cat boys and fanboys on 4chan. He tried tying his winkle to door handle for stretching. Then he come back to me the next year. He say, father, in my birthday, what you going to get me? I say, what do you want? You want gold watch? You want Mercedes Benz? You want life-size cuddle pillow of Patrick Melton, of Rolls Royce? He said, no. He said, I want a woman. And I said, well, Citizen M, can your winkle touch your bottom? Finally, proudly, he said to me, he said, yes, father, my winkle can touch my bottom. I say, in that case, then why do you want a woman? I don't know. Look, but Citizen, I think you should have him on. But
That
yeah,
was really great. And also, are you part Russian? That was a fantastic, sustainable Russian accent, in my opinion.
well, thank you. Yeah, I'm actually Polish, but I mean, I'm British, born British, and yeah, it's yeah.
Why
but, yeah.
wrote you were crying? What's so funny?
Oh, that's,
Well, partly because straight away you said Russian accent. Kaz has done that in a stereotypical Jewish accent before. And the fact that he said, well, I'm actually Polish, which is true. That's what made me laugh, because I'm like, yeah, it's funny how he knows to do every other sort of accent apart from a Polish accent. That's what made me laugh. So, yeah.
Isn't
what-
Polish pretty close to Russian?
Mhm.
It's kind of it's similar. I mean, look, I haven't got I don't know the nuance of you know, I can't do the nuance of the different linguistics of that, but it's it's one of those that's similar, because it's from the Eastern Bloc, obviously, and they were invaded at some point. But I don't know where Citizen M's gone to. I did have him on one of my other screens, but I don't know where he's gone to. But yeah, you should, if he does pop up, you should have him on.
I have two questions. I have a question for each of you. I have two questions for each of you, and you guys can take your turn. What is your favorite thing about the Dabbleverse? what is your least favorite thing about the Dabbleverse?
Kaz, go ahead, mate. I'll let you go first.
Well, well, look, okay. Least I'll go least favorite so I can end on a positive. Least favorite is there's kind of an old school cabal of people who kind of were like the original ones, and they kind of make an effort to keep themselves, together. They literally have levels and private rooms, like stuff that they like to exclude. They like to very much get off on excluding people. Which is weird to me because I'm a very inclusive sort of person. I like to, I like to meet new people, and I like to treat people with respect. I'm not like the sort of person who's like gonna, do something behind people's back and stuff. But what I suppose what I like about it is they do generally have a good sense of humour. They don't mind a bit of trolling, a bit of ball busting. That's all good. So I enjoy that part of it. So end on the positive part.
So, Kaz, just to clarify, right? You're talking about the idea of gatekeeping, right? Which I believe is something that the Shooting Network was trying to do after they stole the WATP idea, which was to cover Stuttering John on a regular basis.
I mean, I don't know a lot about WATP and. Well, no, I know enough about them, but I don't know about the Shooting Network rather so much, and I don't know how much of that they've taken from WATP. But yeah, I'm more sort of talking about people who, if you're going to have an open forum, right, that you open to the public, either do it or don't. Have your own, sure, you have your own private chats, but don't I don't know, don't be sneaky about it.
So I think what's happening here is a classic scenario of Kaz mixing up the Dabbleverse and some people on Discord, which is fine. We all get muddled up every once in a while, but that's fine. I will give you my honest answer, Ashley. What I love about the Dabbleverse is it's everybody over the age of 40. We are almost all nobodies, right? However, that being said, everybody has an opinion, and the great thing about the Dabbleverse is everyone will allow somebody to give their opinion and then critique that person on what they do and how they show things. Prime example, Karmic X comes out of nowhere. The only way he is known is because he's a guy giving money to Pat Dixon on his channel. You go, okay. And then the reason why Karmic X gets an audience is because he's getting drunk, arguing, getting angry. So everyone generally goes over to watch him, right? And go, oh, this is an interesting character. And then that guy evolves, and we see over a period of less than a year, Karmic X creating AI music, which is interesting, being very flamboyant, some may say even maybe a gay gentleman, to turn into a Kevin Brennan ball washer, shitting on Pat Dixon when originally he was Pat Dixon's #1 fan, to pissing off Brennan by going on a stream with Stuttering John, and now in a relationship with Felicia Gillespie. That's what makes the Dabbleverse great, because I can see in your eyes right now, Ashley, you're going, what on earth is this British guy talking about? That's what makes the Dabbleverse great. It's because you can get lost in a field of shit, and it's wonderful.
I was listening to what you said, every word, and I get that part. I was just responding to Lizard Scars, who's a hardcore Red Bar person. And she said, I have a feeling about this. I don't know what any of this
is. Yeah.
I don't know what any of this is. Shout outs to the heads. I love you, Lizard Scars. Yeah, so I guess back to what Kaz said, what you both said, I think were very important points, but it is a bit exclusive. Is that a word you would use? There are levels to it, you said, but also
yes, yeah. There's a certain there's a certain few people who seem to want to be exclusive, and they want others in too, but they want others in as sort of lolcows only. And I've had that with them, because they'll support you and they'll be supportive, and they can be a supportive bunch. And there are some really talented people and people who are there will help you and do all sorts of things for you. But then they will also kind of behind your back be sort of like, oh, well, let's wind him up and troll him a bit.
I think it's
So,
kind of a hard world to understand. And I don't know if it's hazing or what it is in the beginning, but I will say there are, like you said, so many amazing people and like truly authentically hilarious people. You know, you just have to kind of find. That's why I said, like, I'm not quitting the Dabbleverse. There are definitely still people that I will always want to connect with and communicate with. Both of you are two of those people. But then there's also like that toxic part where, does that make sense?
yeah, I mean, like, there's at least a couple of people who I'm genuinely like, I'm pleased that I've met, you know, and I'm happy to have, yeah, I'd almost be sad if I didn't, you know, if I was to sort of not see or speak to them again, you know.
But I also like what Rochi said, that people are allowed to give their own opinion. Like it really is like free speech and accepting, like I think I struggled with that like the first month, accepting that people can say whatever the fuck they want to you. They can have their own opinion about you and you can't control it or da da da, you know, like I think that makes sense what I just said.
I mean,
But
I agree with you to a point, but I have experienced where they kind of, at times, they can be like reeds in the wind. Some of them, not all of them. There were some sort of dominant, powerful characters who are, you know, successful in life and hilarious, and they're great in the Dabbleverse too. But there are also some people who are like reeds in the wind. So whichever way the wind's blowing, they'll go that way. So if a few of the sort of main characters decide they don't like you or they're against you for some reason, the whole lot will jump on rather than more individual opinions. But that's it swings and roundabouts. There's some good points and there's some bad points, but I've stuck around, and I'll tell you, I came in pretty hot, and I came in pretty much doing sort of character stuff and just fucking around and just like trolling myself, but I got more than I bargained for. They're kind of like, and it's kind of turned around and kind of get along now.
a lot
To
of
a
people
certain
care
extent.
about you quite a lot.
So what I like about this, Ashley, is Kaz is so in his own little bubble that he thinks a group of friends that sit and talk on a Discord is the Dabbleverse, not realizing this whole show, and that's what he's been going on about, which is great because it's what we love him for. Like even when you just said, Ashley, a lot of people care about him, and that bit went over his head, right, which is glorious. But the other thing I love about the Dabbleverse, or in this sphere of the internet, if you will, is little side characters of MLC. I'm not the biggest MLC fan at all, but I love some of the side characters, and I bet you know where I'm going with this. One in particular is called Dave Serra. Now I've known Dave Serra for a long time now. It seems forever, and I know quite a lot about Dave, and I actually like Dave. However, I do think it was very strange that he knew what your kitchen looked like just from seeing Mystical Everything being in your kitchen. And I'm like, how on earth did he know this? And his excuse to me, to be fair, and to, put it out there, he said that he'd recently seen an old podcast you've been on, or an old episode of your show, or like live stream, where you were in your kitchen. And I went, okay, that would explain that, I suppose.
So that was like a year and a half ago, but yeah, please do go ahead.
Well, this is the thing, right? So like you explained to me on Saturday, right? It was a year and a half ago. Now,
At least, and it was a joke cooking video, but go ahead, please.
And the one thing I know about Dave Serra is his memory isn't the greatest, partly because he's too busy clearing his nose quite a lot, if you catch my drift, right?
Smelling the white lines.
Yeah.
You have to see how they smell, you know.
Oh yeah, you got
Yeah,
to
I mean,
make sure that
likes the smell of cocaine, you know.
Just like the way it smells.
Yeah.
So you were saying he doesn't have the best memory.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best memory. So I just went, okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he was being honest, and he just recently seen an old video of yours.
Yeah, I don't see him as a dishonest dude, by the way. But
And you said yesterday to me that you've actually spoken to Dave for quite a while, right? Or at least
no, not
had each
spoken. We've
other's
never
numbers.
spoken. We've never
Mm.
spoken. We've messaged on X, and then he texted me last night, which was kind of weird. Because he doesn't text me that much, but he just wrote something that I totally didn't understand. He was like, I don't care what these people say. I don't care what these people say. I care what, and I was like, I don't even know who you're talking about. I just put a question mark. I didn't know.
You know what that was, Ashley? I can tell you
What?
now. I saw it happen in real time. He was trying to say that me and somebody else was playing the good cop, bad cop with you.
Yes, I have heard that.
Right? Now, if that was the case, why on earth would I jump on your live stream at 3 o'clock in the morning to help you out with StreamYard if I'm ultimately trolling you as in goal? Why would I do that? Right? That's what
I
Dave
said that
doesn't
to you
understand.
before. I said that to you on Echo's show. I said you've
Mhm.
never felt weird, disingenuous, or to
Mhm.
my knowledge, have ever lied to me. So
Exactly, yeah. And that's the problem with Dave is with going, okay, I like the smell of this substance. That leads to paranoia. And with Dave also, Dave has been around me for, let's say, 2 years now. Dave also claims that certain people have doxed him, right? But Dave's forgetting that he doxed himself to us while he was in a car park. Anyway, oh yeah, oh there you go. It's weird, isn't it weird that certain females in this sphere like to attack others, but yet they seem to get proven wrong quite a lot, right? I don't think Ashley needs a producer, Rachel. I think she
she's
just
probably
proves
not wrong about that. I wanted to say about the kitchen thing as well, which I will never forget. That dude, whatever, what's his name?
Mhm. Dave
Second.
Sarah.
No, MKE always
Oh
has
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
same backdrop.
hmm
Why did he not use the backdrop at my kitchen and like in my kitchen? I think that he was trying to make it, you know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to bring attention to himself, which made it
hmm
all even more pathetic. When you show up to someone with pee in your pants, it's like you can't really go worse
Well,
than there, but then actually you can.
I'll be honest. A certain friend of mine I know has shown up on
Uh-huh.
dates with pee in their pants, right, Cuss?
I don't know, not me. So I don't know.
No,
Virtual
you
tried
just
to
wasn't
work
aware of it,
things
sir.
out. Now I dread to think, and I do. Otherwise, I've got to take 30 seconds. Otherwise, I will have fucking pee in my pants. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. It's a family show. But it's Roach will try to throw all sorts of things out there which are mostly untrue, which is shocking because I've said enough stuff that's actually true. That's a lot of which I regret saying, and but there we go. It's all right. We're not going down that road tonight. I don't think.
At the
Well,
risk
if
of
we've run out of
being,
things to say, I mean, I'm taking some questions on my chat if you don't mind. I don't know how
well,
polite they're going to
Kaz,
be. Someone asks why you look wet. They say look wet. I assume they mean you look
Someone
shiny.
just said, "Why do I look
You've
like
got
I'm
glow to you.
melting?
I
Why
guess
do
they
I look
mean
like I'm melting?" So I do have a ring light, and then I did blur the background. But I do
yeah.
notice
well,
at a certain place my bun disappears.
Ash, I
Oh,
was going to
it's
ask you about
moving.
that. Why?
Right
Why?
now, here's one. Now, I don't. Do you know? Actually, I'll save that one till after. Someone asking, would you ever have Doom as a producer?
Possibly.
See,
Possibly.
Ashley,
Well,
We'd
Ashley,
have
yeah.
we could negotiate. I would negotiate with Doom.
Now,
oh,
I'll let you think about this one because I desperately need to pee and get some water so I don't lose
Yeah,
my
I'm
voice.
gonna wrap this up as well. I'm so happy you guys are here. But yes, please do read the questions. I love this.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is that the one I was gonna go with now, which is the final one, which is one where I could. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say go sort of one way, tit for tat sort of thing, but someone says,
Just
is there any good drug stories? I mean, because
Do I have drug stories?
yeah, I know. That's just I'm reading the question there. That's
Yeah, I've been pretty open about that. So I was a raver when I was like 14 years old, and I kind of turned my whole life around at that age. But I mean, yeah, I went to University of Miami. At that time, it was easier to get cocaine than it was to get weed. Like that's how guys would like hit on you at the bar. Like in LA, they'll be like, "Do you want to go smoke a joint or something?" And it's like, or do you want to go like smoke? And but there it was like, do you want to go do blow? It was pretty intense. But that was mostly like a long time ago. That was mostly like, let's see, I don't know, 14, and then I cleaned up my act, and got on Dean's List, got into GW, went to University of Miami, got really good grades, and then in like my 20s in college, like Miami, like messed around a little, not messed around, but tried different things. I think people do that at university, and then yeah, pretty much I just smoke weed and drink wine, and sometimes wife beater beers. Stella
yeah.
Artois.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I don't know that I'm now. Maybe it'd do me good to be completely sober. I mean, but I've had times. I mean, I used to do up until I guess just after New Year. I mean, I was a regular heroin user, and I fell on my face. And so, if you see any, I think Doom used a bit of a rough-looking picture in a clip that maybe you were in, which might have shown me with a bit of a busted nose, and that's from falling on my face around New Year.
Wait,
But,
are you talking about a Doom picture that's terrible of you, or one that's terrible of me?
of me?
No, of
Oh.
Kaz. So
I
actually,
was
what's
like,
weird
because that
is-
was like the Kaz. I was like, is that why he's asking me if I do drugs? Because of the Doom.
No, it's a question that came up in just a chat that I've got going elsewhere, in Discord. But they, yeah. So I did do heroin up to for years, but I was functional, and to a certain extent at least. I probably wasn't at my best, and I've certainly I find I'm more creative, and
Hey, Ashley,
better
I
without
did a stream with
it.
Kaz once, and I found it was easier to make loud noises or clap or wave at him to get his attention. So, feel free to
I
do
don't
that.
want
if
to
you-
do that. No, this is like these. You guys are the two first live guests I've ever had. I just wanted to circle round.
Yes.
First
go ahead.
question was, what is a functional? Because I never saw how that could happen. Like, what does a functional heroin addict look like? Like, what does that look like? And then,
Just like a normal person, because you've got a tolerance, and obviously, if I was to take loads of it or inject loads of it, yeah, I'd look like one of those people who are nodding out.
yeah, because usually they show heroin people, and it's like they can't even like. But so I guess you just take little amounts or something.
Yeah, and it's sort of it affects different people differently. Obviously, you're not immune to it. So if I was to want to take loads and get off my head, that could have happened. But I didn't want to because I was working. So I'd have my bit in the morning with breakfast. It was just like I'd be having
Well, Kaz, you want to explain to Ashley
I'd have
how...
my heroin on the tin foil, and it's just my cup of coffee. That's just my breakfast, and
Breakfast with champions.
So, to clarify,
then
Kaz,
I'd go to
you would
work and
smoke it,
I'd
right?
carry on, and and then later in the day I'd do the same, and that'd be that. And so it was just really, people didn't know. In fact, and it still happens sometimes, if I'm completely sober and like absolutely sober, like haven't had any drink or anything for days, had nothing, people will accuse me of being on drugs because I'll be a bit hyper and a bit manic,
call
or
it like
whatever.
a flashback or something ish. Like maybe it's still in your system.
It's not quite that, but it's just a weird thing. I think because people are used to me being slightly attenuated in some way, even if it's just like a couple of beers.
You feel like it's more of an assumption on their part than anything.
Oh, it is, but it's like people notice. It's weird that people will notice that I'm kind of a little bit, I don't know how to describe it, a bit odd or whatever, but it's that people will notice that one more than they notice if I'm using. Unless, of course, I'm in a ridiculous state, which I have been, and people have seen me on Discord and such, and even
But I
on
think
stream.
that's a really good point, because even you said, like, when you haven't had a drink, you haven't done anything, people will assume, no matter how you present yourself or represent yourself, that you're on something.
Yeah, and it can be challenging because you sort of it's nice when, and which happens sometimes, and people say, "Oh, you're better when when you've been sober for a bit." It
Have
just
people
takes.
ever said that to you when you were high? Like, you're
Well, you see,
better when you're sober, and you're like, you don't even know that I'm high.
well, yeah, that's happened a lot. I mean, in day to day, obviously, people who get to know me a bit more, and I suppose the longer you spend with people, they get to see you in different states and different ways, and they get to know you a bit more. But they still get it wrong. Even people who know me pretty well still get it wrong often,
Well,
or
hey, Kaz,
if not often, they get it
do you
wrong.
want to, Kaz, you want to very quickly explain to Ashley of one scenario where you got hold of some H, but it wasn't the way you would normally have it, and you still wanted to get high, so therefore you used it in a different way than you normally would. And the reason why I mention this is because it's not what you think, Ashley. And I've never heard this until Kaz told us this story, and it kind
It
of made me
doesn't
go, okay.
violate you terms of service, right?
No. He will explain this
I
in
would do it
a
in a way that doesn't.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'll do it in a way that doesn't
Mhm,
violate terms of service. Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, I'll give a medical thing. Now, certain things have certain routes of administration, so you can't always swallow certain things. So they either need to be used, say, through a vein or through, a way like medical things do. So in hospital, maybe if there's something that you can't swallow.
Like, if I was dehydrated and I had to go get an IV drip for water.
Well, say for example, you, for whatever reason, you didn't want to, they didn't want to do it that way. There are suppository methods of certain medications. I don't know why everyone harps on this story that I just mentioned once, that, not wanting to use the like you would with an IV drip, use that sort of method.
I think
I know people
I
sort of harp on this story.
feel like a suppository is a little bit healthier than the other way, the medical way,
It
right?
certainly is. Yeah, you can cause.
I've never heard of that.
Damage, but yeah, it's weird enough. I actually heard it because I'm an Opie and Anthony fan. I was listening to an episode there, and I heard Jason Mewes from Clerks talk about it, about how his apparatus that he was going to use one way, the sharp bit snapped, and he did the same method. And so it's not an unknown thing in sort of in circles.
No, I've heard of people doing it. First of all, my Scottish friend, you guys would probably like him. He's in Scotland now, but he's very funny. So sometimes I will try to do his Scottish accent. So he started doing enemas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah, that's exactly what Kaz has been.
Yeah, I mean it's not exactly, because you wouldn't be using that. That's
right. I mean, like the enema thing is sort of like a we're talking about something so disgusting right now. But anyway, it's not that disgusting. Come on. But he was trying green tea. He was trying first, I think he tried water or salt water or something, and then green tea. And the day he tried coffee, he did a coffee one. And he called me because we lived in Miami. Like, he worked in my studio in Miami, and then we also ended up in LA. So he called me and he's like, Ashley, you won't believe it. I've done a coffee enema, and it's better than any of the blow we ever did in any of the blow we ever did in Miami. And
yeah, well,
so
I mean,
funny.
the blood vessels there are very they're very dense, dense blood vessels, and
But like, people literally put coffee in their. I mean, I heard they're very healthy. I've never done one.
Yeah, I don't know about. I don't know the detail. I've heard of it too, but I don't know the details. And yeah, it's not. Yeah, people always go on for bring up that story, but with me at least. But there's quite a few. But yeah, I guess I was just asking the questions that are being asked. But
Do we
So
see any more questions, guys? Oh, I
not
wanted to say
many, but
also. Wait, what?
go on.
Sorry, Roach.
No, sorry, Ash. I just want to ask you this one question because I'm genuinely curious. What's the hardest drug that you've ever done? Is it just coke?
I've done so. I've mentioned this before, and somebody was like, "Ashley, you never should have said that you did drugs. People are just gonna the Dabbleverse is just gonna take it." And I'm like, I've been very open about my past about, and here's why, guys. If you're open and honest about your shit, no one can come after you. At least
Yes,
no one that
I
matters.
agree because I've pretty much said the worst of what's happened and what I've done, and there's nothing really I'm ashamed of as such. There's the mistakes I've made. I'm sort of I think there were mistakes and I've got regrets, yeah, but they're not. I haven't done anything harmful to people, so it's.
Kaz, I think the most important thing is that, okay, first of all, if anyone in the chat has never made a mistake, can you please let us know? Also, have either of you never made a mistake?
I think I made a mistake today when I said to Kaz, you may want to get ready because Ashley might need hand testing out StreamYard.
The
I think
point
that
is
might
we
have been a
all
mistake.
make mistakes. And I
Yeah.
wanted to say that I think regret is a waste of energy. And something that I'll share with you that I like to say, I forgive myself, I accept myself, and I love myself unconditionally. This is not dodging accountability. This is not like going through stuff. Sometimes we make mistakes that hurt ourselves and hurt other people. And there's a period of time that we have to kind of get through and heal. But at the end of the day, always forgive yourself, love yourself, and accept yourself. I think that this is the most important thing. And of course, do anything if you've hurt someone else or made them uncomfortable or compromised them in any way, anything that you can do to fix that within your means and that's safe. But
Yeah, I mean that's I think very much the sort of the 12-step attitude, which I'm not against, and it's I suppose regret is not really the right word, but I certainly there's things I wish. I suppose it probably is the right word because there were things I wish I'd done differently and done better. And it's but I try, but I learn from them and move forward. So it's not like a kind of a wasted thought process because it's things to sort of move forward from and learn from.
I don't think it's ever a waste when we learn, grow, or evolve sometimes. And sometimes it feels like a painful, weird growth. It's like, why, or sometimes it feels redundant. Like I felt like this before. Why am I experiencing this again? Right. But as long as I think we're present with ourselves, loving to ourselves and to the people that are around us, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we're all going to be okay. It's
So Ash, as I imagine you're looking for a way to wrap this up, and I've got a good idea. Kaz, pick a letter.
J.
J. Okay, Ashley, quickly have a look in your book.
I'm already on it. Okay, I think that Rochi should be my new co-pilot with this show, wherever we're gonna take it. J. So just so you know, Kaz, we have Jack's handy list of words.
Okay.
Jack's handy list of words, 607 words that you can't or shouldn't live without. So he picks J, he picked H last time, but J, juxtapose, to position two or more objects adjacent to each other so as to engender a comparison. Example, juxtaposed, we found that lawyers and actors were quite different personality types after all.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I'm always a fan of learning, and also just one last one. I think it might be Dave, it might be someone else. says, "Are you changing your hair up, thinking that Doom's going to clip this?" I mean, what do you think about Doom as a clipper? Does he? Do you think he's like positive for you, or
Rochi,
not?
what do you think? I heard you're the closest person to him.
Yeah, allegedly. Even though I like how you said him. My understanding is it's a she, but yeah, who knows?
So you're the closest person and you don't know?
Well, exactly. Like it's a mystery, right? I will say this though. Actually, you did notice earlier on, Kaz made a comment of Doom taking pictures of Kaz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost as
Like
if there's
not necessarily auspicious pictures.
it's almost
Well,
like
he
there's a
picked one, and
pattern
I
of
do. I'll be
behaviour.
honest. For full disclosure, I do get along with Doom. I don't know him particularly well, but I get along with him. So,
So I didn't say him.
or
He
her.
said
I
him.
don't know. I don't
Yeah,
even know if it's a him or her.
exactly. I mean, I know it's a new world. I know I'm old school. But if that person wants to be called a she, who am I to say otherwise? But,
Well, actually, let's end with this.
hmm,
Tell me the truth.
yes.
What is your like? Okay, now I won't say this. What do you think of Doom, Rochi? And then Kaz, you've told me you're cool with Doom. I'm cool with Doom, and I'm not just saying that. Go ahead, Rochi. What do you think of Doom? Please.
So I think without Doom, this corner of the internet may have died off a long time ago. And Doom, with his or her clips, have made it very accessible for multiple shows or just viewers to condense. For example, I use Comic X, for example, a 6-hour stream down to a 25-minute video, which in itself is remarkable that one person would sit through a whole stream and go, okay, this was the best bit. Now, that being said, like that's great. Some people choose to watch Doom clips, for example, not naming names, Kevin Brennan, and never comment on said clips, which I think is a bad move. Now, I know I'm moving on with a question, but I'm rambling, right? Where, for example, I do a show with Quadfather on a Sunday night, Double Weekly Review, and we tend to go with Doom clips because they seem to be the most popular clips. And we
Are you
will
saying
pull.
that Kevin doesn't address them out of a reason other than disrespect, or?
It's almost like Kevin's got his own agenda, especially when it comes to somebody like Comic X, and he'll just let a clip play all the way through, not give a comment on it. Partly because that would go against the agenda he's trying to push for his audience and the group of, for lack of a better term, co-hosts that he's got around him. To keep
He always
his
has
own.
Doom's pay thing underneath. I mean,
Mhm.
that means something,
Well,
right?
see, again, I'm not entirely too sure what that's about. But again, that's the thing that he's doing. Maybe that's like him saying thanks for doing the clip because I'm using your footage. Maybe I don't know. One thing I do know is when we do that show on BYB, we try to thank the Clippers because we don't want the Clippers halfway through that show while we're watching the video to go, oh, I don't like these guys. Let me rip that video down. Because that's another thing that happens in this sphere sometimes, like the stream sniping, for example. When people stream snipe, some people decide to go, okay, in that case, I'm going to play copyrighted music just to be an arsehole for no apparent reason. They can't just go with the flow. Like you said, Ashley, you've kind of learned how to adapt and go, okay, then, though people are saying things I don't like, I got to allow that to happen, and then I get my moment to say my piece, and then that gets played or amplified just as much as the first person.
Yeah.
Did you want to
Yeah.
add something, Kaz?
Go on, Kath.
I think the Clippers have been. I think Roach is right. The Clippers have made it very accessible, especially the better ones like Doom and a couple of others. Yeah, made it more
There's
accessible. 'Cause there
Stalin.
was
Let's
so
give
many
a
shows
shout
as
out
well.
to the Clippers.
Mm.
There's Stalin 19,
Yeah,
Doom,
Starling 19 for sure.
So
Citizen M,
Thorough Joe Burrow.
Joe Thorough. What is it?
he's
Joe
making waves.
So
Yeah,
Thorough Joe Burrow, something like that.
Yes, that's it.
and
I think.
and the last two we just named are on Super Tip, by the way, which is an interesting thing, right?
Let's drop their super tips for them.
So you've already done this with Doom, right? So it's supertip.gg/Doom, and I must
Not
admit,
backward slash
yeah,
Rochi.
/, yeah. And I must admit, I don't know so far Joe Burrows, partly because I'm an idiot. However,
I don't think you're an idiot, but I bet it's
no, I don't know no, it's like the first letter of each one of those words, right? So it's
so it's the acronym. So it's
Mhm.
super tips dot you know slash
supertip.gg/.
STJB.
Mhm. And what I will say, Ashley, there is and again, shameless plug. At some point, that super tip system will be open for anybody to go and sign up. And even though people don't like Melton, and I understand, fair enough, he can be extremely long-winded, tedious. Maybe some say obsessed with one particular person at a time on one show. That all being said, that system will be open up for anybody to go and sign up for free. And it's a better cut than what YouTube offers. So why not sign up?
Well, do you think Melton will allow me to use super tips?
I think, Ashley, if you were to ask him via email, which I know you obviously have sent him emails or phone number, if that's happened, I don't know, obviously. I think he would probably be open for that, partly because the reason why I say that is, let's not forget, Melton gave super tips to Chad Zumuk, this little arsehole, right? And them two don't get along.
yeah. Melton does seem. He has said it doesn't matter if you don't like him. He's explicitly said that it's okay if people don't like him. But yeah, that's it.
Can you guys teach me how to snipe real quick?
Right, okay, so Ashley, at the bottom along the stream, you've got mute. There's a there's a camera, and there's a thing on there saying share screen. You can share a screen that you're seeing on your laptop, and you can go to youtube.com and then look at a video, and that's how you can stream snipe. That being said, I don't know whether it's worth looking at Karmic X if he is indeed trashing you, partly because I think wouldn't it be better for you to show that you're better than him? Let's be honest. He's only doing this to try and to catch favour back with Brennan again, because he's now in the doghouse with Brennan for doing Stuttering John's show, you know? So, but again, that's entirely up to you. We can...
Maybe we'll do a sniping combo before next time. I don't care about Karmic X that much. But I do want to say, what did I just want to say about him? I thought it was I think he paid Kevin. I'm coming. And my dog wants to go out anyway. I think he paid Kevin Brennan $50 to go on his show and get yelled at the other night.
Which is crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. He does seem to be very keen on being involved with Kevin Brennan and looking up to him. And I guess that's... I think it was Patrick that was saying the people who end up on Kevin Brennan end up as sort of complete lolcows. They don't end up as main characters. They end up as sort of like, MKE and what's his name? There's a couple others, aren't there? Dave Sarah. They don't seem to get their own stuff off the ground very effectively. Yeah,
it's funny that, Kaz, isn't it? It's almost as if, like, and this is what's wonderful about the Dabbleverse. It's almost as if quite a few people are nobodies. And that being said,
apparently Karmic was trashing MKE, not me. Sorry, go ahead.
That being said, like nobodies, I would include Stuttering John and Kevin Brennan in that same sentence. Because really, let's be honest, what have they done in the last 5 years? Nothing. And that's what makes this great, because it almost puts everybody on the same level playing field, right? Everybody has the capability of hit go live on YouTube, and maybe not everybody should hit go live on YouTube.
Well, that's it. And then these things will play out. And there are some, I mean, some people use networking and positive sort of tactics. Some people use negative tactics and all sorts of things, you know, drama baiting and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, it is one of those things that sort of works itself out. People get to decide whether something's entertaining or not and worth watching. So yeah, that's a good thing. There's a good, and this is where I get it to bring it back to the Clippers. They kind of bring it together and give you a kind of shorter and easier access to look and see who's about. And if you like someone, you can go and watch their whole show, or you can just see some clips. It's
I
all
think
good.
what Kaz just said was very important. A couple words you just said there, people get to choose what they watch. I think for the last 15, 20 years of celebrity kind of like being pushed on us and every way, and Joe Rogan, et cetera, now like, and that's what after the initial, so I guess you would say like I don't know what the word is, inducted or drawn into the Dabbleverse like in Mayish, right? So I remember after the initial like hurt in my heart and all the Melton videos and stuff, like I was like, there are cool layers to this. There are cool people. And also I see something lucrative here. Like people are able to watch what they want to watch, not what's being thrown and put upon them. And they're doing it. They're actually doing it. Like, for
Yeah.
example, I didn't love the conversation that happened on Shmuel Buckman last night. I'm not sure if you were there. I just popped in
No, I
for a
didn't see
second.
that one. I didn't catch
I
that
just
one.
popped in for a second, but they were talking about stuff that's sensitive to my heart when it comes to kids or animals. Were you there, Rochi? I think you were.
Yeah, I was.
So I didn't get the full context, so I don't want to say anything. But the topic of, you know, gender changing and children came up, and I'm not even sure I got the right context. So I was just like, leave kids and animals alone.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, that's a conversation that wasn't produced. I mean, Shmuel Buckman does try to produce once in a while, but fails miserably. But it was a real life conversation with real people. Does that make sense? Like, it wasn't like,
and that is an interesting thing, and people are sort of fascinated with people's lives who are slightly different, but not in that sort of polished celebrity way. You know, people like to see something different, a different way of life or different way of thinking without it being completely sort of like take two, take three. You know, just it's actually just something organic in there, and people seem to like that. And I guess it, you know, it started with reality TV, but it's kind of a better iteration, because even reality TV became, what do they call it? Assisted reality. And it was sort of,
exactly, like reality TV became the most lucrative, I think, area of television, 15, 20 years ago, but it was all produced. Like it was all, make sure you like make her cry in the fight tonight or the challenge tonight. So it was all kind of, it was reality, but not reality. Citizen M, if you have beef with me, you can call me right now, or you can come on the live. I am not playing with you tonight or any night, sir.
Well, so Ash,
I have nothing to hide.
Well, Ash, just to clarify, right?
I haven't even reported fucking Kevin's channel.
Say, for example, this very stream, even though this is not a show, this is just a test of the Streamyard
We're just
to
doing
make
a
sure it
test
works.
Streamyard run.
But let's say this got clipped. You're okay with that, right? You said to me, and like you said to Melton in the email, you wouldn't even know how to strike a channel, right?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even know how to do. I would not even know what that looks like.
Exactly, yeah.
I reported a couple really disgusting things, like you know, just weird stuff on Twitter, like, do you have sex with, you know, like weird stuff that was not Melton, was not Doom, was not anyone. And then usually Twitter sends me an email. And it's like, we didn't find anything wrong with this. They said you had a horse face, and we agree. But I've not. That's the only thing in terms of that. And I can send you the X responses or whatever.
Well, actually, can you bring up Citizen M's last comment? And I think this is, you know, M just as well as anybody, right?
I mean,
There
it
you go.
seems like I don't. I have no.
Oh, no,
beef
there you
with
go.
you. You are the best. Wait, what? This is the last
See?
comment. If
Yeah,
you
'cause you
don't have
said-
beef with you, then why then why are you spreading some weird lie that I did anything to Melton's
I
channel?
think he wanted you to address it. That's all.
I addressed it with you. I addressed it with
Mhm.
him on my cell phone
Fair enough.
3
Fair enough.
times.
Right.
So to
So
come onto my live stream and do that, Citizen M, is quite rude. Would you like to pick a letter so we can say goodnight, guys? Kaz, you pick the letter this time.
Kaz, are you with us, mate?
Put
Let him
Melton.
fuck your
Pick
bed.
a letter, any
Okay.
letter between A and Z.
I don't think he's
So
with
I
us.
don't know if I just pressed the wrong button there and just
Kaz, you're here
Oh, we
now.
lost you. Any alphabet letter.
Pick a letter.
Oh, a letter from me. We'll go K. We'll go K, I think.
K. It's a good letter. I wonder what the first one is here. JK. Did you realize it's the letter right after J? I'm just curious.
I guess I did do. Yeah, I guess I did. I guess I did do. Yeah.
There's only 2 words for K, which is interesting. What I'm going to try to pronounce. Kerfuffle. Do either of you know what kerfuffle means?
Yeah, I think Kaz is currently in one.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a mess, isn't it? It's like kind of a yeah, a synonymous with mess.
A cacophonous commotion. His father took him aside and confided, son, at all costs, steer clear of kerfuffles. Kaz, no more kerfuffles, okay? It's an
I'll
alliteration
try
for
my
you as
best.
well.
I'll try my best. It's yeah, it's
Oh.
yeah. I'm just I'm working for New Mixer, so it's sort of and I guess people have been talking in the talking elsewhere, and I'll try to make sure they're faded down. But
Hey,
yeah.
Ash, I'm glad this isn't a show, because if this was a show, I would encourage you to be very angry with him right now, because he's currently distracted while talking to other people whilst on a show.
I'm not. No, I wasn't.
This is not a show, so therefore you get away with it once.
Well, it's not a show.
Well, look,
like
my
so go
shows,
ahead.
the number of false starts I've done on my shows. I mean, on my shows, I've fallen asleep on my shows. I've false started it, and I've thought there was music playing, and I'm giving it some. And welcome to, and giving it the proper DJ voice and everything, and then I've got no music behind me, so I just sound like a complete idiot. So I've done that on my show. So it's these mistakes.
So what I think we should
do
do,
happen.
Kaz, is we should stop rambling on, and we should allow Ashley to end the show so she can let her dog go for a week.
Yeah, I mean, I
think.
didn't know how he was gonna. I just thought I'd pop on and say hi. I didn't know what we were doing.
Appreciate you helping us out.
Yeah, that's no problem, and it's been nice to chat as always. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know how you want to take it out. It's your show, so it's up to you to take it out, I guess.
I love it. Do you have a favorite quote, Kaz?
Let me think of one. I love that Roald Dahl one, but then also another one is
Wait, the Roald
religion is.
Dahl one? I
I'll
love
give you
Roald.
one that I've got off the top of my head. Religion's for people who are scared of going to hell. Spirituality is for people who have already been there. That's one I like.
That's a good one.
But yeah.
What about you, Rochi?
Ash, I hope you got your finger on end stream button, because I could do a joke one if you want.
Yeah,
But you got to be
go,
ready.
go. I'm not
end
going to
stream.
end it unorganically,
Oh,
but I
okay,
want to
right.
hear
In
it.
that case,
Go, go.
I won't say hickory dickory dock, and you guys can finish the rest.
You can't do that to us. No, Rochi. If you're gonna bring the innuendo or bring that vibe, then you at least see it through. You have the courage of your conviction.
Hickory dickory dock, snickery tickery talk, cock.
So, Ash, if you
Mall?
weren't aware, I was doing and I forgot his name already. Jesus, Kaz, help me out.
Andrew Dice Clay, I guess.
Yeah, I was doing an Andrew Dice Clay
Oh,
bit.
I saw him in real life at the most random time. He was at a burger place, and I was like, "That's Andrew Dice Clay." And I was staying at this hotel across the street, and I was like, he was wearing all leather, black leather, black jeans. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, "Hi."
Did he ask you whether you wanted his autograph? Because I know that's
No,
the thing he does on his Instagram. He goes up to random people going, "Yeah, I know you just want to ask me for my autograph," and it's just strangers that don't know who he is, so they feel awkward because they're like, "Who's this stranger?" You know. But obviously, it's funny for his audience on his. I think it's his Instagram. He does that.
that's actually genius. Wait, he goes up to other people and asks them for their autograph?
Yes. Yeah. No. He asks whether they're waiting for his autograph.
Oh, I was gonna say that makes more sense, but both are still very ridiculous.
Especially when, like, obviously though he's a famous comedian, like he's doing it in places where nobody's going to know who he is,
Right.
and it,
Not like
you
at
know, it's,
comedy clubs.
no, yeah, and he's completely not, he's not dressed like Andrew Dice Clay, of course. He's just dressed as a normal guy in his 60s, I think he is, or whatever.
But what I'm
Which is
saying is
funny.
that when I saw him out in the wild, if you will, he wears like black leather pants, black leather jacket, black t-shirt, like black boots, as I recall. Like maybe he was coming from a show. I don't know if that's his back to
Maybe, yeah.
fashion. Maybe that's what he's the most comfortable in. Well,
Yeah,
my
who,
favorite quote. Sorry,
He
go
does
ahead.
he does seem comfortable in his his regular attire. I mean, I don't know. He's been doing that for a while, but I guess it's just natural to him now. But there you go.
This is a funny quote. I mean, this is a funny comment. Hold on. I'll tell you my favorite quote, and then we will be out. I am so grateful for you two gentlemen for being here. One of my favorite quotes is Marcus Aurelius. What we do in life echoes for eternity.
I think that's brilliant. And you've been listening to me, Kaz, Tosspot Radio, Rochi. He appears everywhere, and Ashley Cummings.
I was gonna say, do you guys want to do your plugs? Proper plugs.
Plug. I don't know if you want to buy me a coffee.com, TP Radio, Rochi. Any plugs?
No, I don't plug anything for two reasons. One, I don't encourage anybody to listen to me, and two, I think it's a shameless thing that people do at the end of a show because they've got nothing else to do apart from going, "Oh, please come and follow me." No,
Well, I would like to.
follow me. KM Mick can be found.
Well, no, how else would they
at
know?
KM
It's
Mick.
not that shameless if you guys think about it. How else would people know?
It's part of my stick, if you will. Actually,
Anyway, never mind. We can practice the music timing, and I don't know if that music even came through. I don't know.
Well, I would like to set a precedent, definitely for you guys before we leave, and I think it's just fair. When I would like to share half of whatever comes in on the super tips with whoever comes in. So I hope that doesn't offend anyone, but that's what we'll be doing.
Ashley, I encourage you to never pay a guest.
Okay.
In fact, I insist that you do that from going forward.
Okay. You'll have to explain that to me in text. I feel like it's fair because you guys have spent your time here, your energy, your words. How's that not?
Ashley?
Yes.
I mean,
the way I do things with my thing is it's all voluntary. Anyone pays what they want on my show, and I do the same for my time. If I didn't want to be here, I wouldn't be here. So I don't say no, but I don't insist on anything either. So not at the moment, not unless I get big and famous, and then I might start getting a bit. I might insist if my time's overwanted. But talk of time, I'm gonna have to go because it's 5 o'clock in the morning here, and I've got an early start. So I'm gonna have to. Whether you guys continue or not.
Right. Well, Ashley, before we go, Kaz, sorry to cut you off. The prime example, the reason why not to pay your guests. We've spent 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it's the first time this person will be mentioned, and the last time. Keanu Thompson. She will go on to other shows and say, well, I made X amount of money when I did a show with a certain somebody, Ashley, and I paid her X amount. And you go, okay, so now you're telling somebody else or the world somebody else's financial details. And I think that's bang out of order. So if you don't pay any guests, that never comes up in the future.
Well, anyway,
That's a great
good night, as I
point.
was saying. Good night,
Sorry,
because I've got to go. So,
See you later,
All right, guys. Have a
much
great
love
night.
and
I'll see you
take
soon.
care. Yeah.
Bye bye.
See you soon. Take care.
Okay, now we're gonna end it. That was great. I think Kaz is great. Okay, you want to say bye?
See you later, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. This wasn't a show. All right.
This was not a show. This was a test. So if you guys took us seriously trying to do a show over here, you're wrong. But if you think that I can actually end this live stream,
You're also wrong.
you're also wrong.
So top right hand corner, Ashley, in StreamYard, it will say end stream.
I know. I see it, but